guys, so this is Red Smith here. I wanted to record a quick video about how to make a tree. Now, this is just going to be a basic tree. It's not going to be anything too advanced, like one of those high resolution things you could probably buy from a Unity asset store. It's just going to be a basic one. I was suggested on how to make one, so here we are. So for this first version, all you gotta do is just go into this face tab on edit mode and just extrude out a little bit. But as you extrude out, all you have to do is just rotate it a little bit just to give it a bit of an uneven shape, since trees never grow in too much of a straight line. You can do it this way just by pressing R, or you can just use this tool if you want to get more precise. Just click over here. And to extrude, all you have to do is press E and then drag out. If you wanted to extrude but go on a certain level, then all you have to do is hit E, but then you can hit X or X, Y, or Z. With X being this way, Y being this way, and Z being the way we want to go. Anyway, I'm not going to make too advanced of a tree. I'm just going to raise it up to, say, this point where I want to level it out. So I'm just going to level it out about right here. And at this point, I'm going to extrude again, but instead of extruding like we normally would, also if you want to know how to rotate your screen, all you have to do is press that mouse scroll wheel. That always works, as long as you haven't changed your settings. Anyway, all you have to do is extrude from these points, but you're also going to hit X to scale it down, since sticks and whatnot, they never, ever, ever will be as big as the tree, unless your tree is just an extremely small one. Whatever. Anyway, so at this point, you're just going to keep extruding. Maybe right here, just add a branching point. It's also best to have an idea of the tree you want to make in mind. Let's say we want it like this. So then we're going to extrude from other points, like right here. Let's go down a little bit. And you're just wanting a shape that doesn't look even in the slightest. There is another way to do this that does make it look better, and I'll go over that in a moment. But I'm just going to extrude out right here. And there we go. Now I'm also going to do the same thing for this side. And let's make it go to the, I guess, the left. And we're going to keep doing that. Be sure to shrink it on its face each and every time. And we're just going to keep extruding. And I'm not going to branch out with this one, since I just want to get this done pretty fast. So like this, like this. Let's go up a little. Like this. And that should be it for that one. Then like that. and then like that. And then we can also extrude this part right here and shrink it a little. But now we have this weird shape. You could say that we could be done with this one, but we're going to go into this modifier tab, add a modifier, go to generate, and go into subdivision surface. After that, all we gotta do is click on this one, and boom. This is how our tree looks. Now, if we go into edit mode, we can actually still see that the actual shape is there. We're just essentially adding more surfaces, more vertices to the shape, which is going to make it look smoother. And it's going to add a lot more polygons, but normally your computer can handle this. I mean, better than this one time I saw a guy add 15 million vertices. Still don't know how he did that. But story for a different day. Anyway, what I did right here was I hit I. I is just essentially the bevel key. Right here, which is just going to flatten out this bottom bit, so that if we were to, say, add a plane, we just go to a plane. Where is it? Right here. And then scale it out. We could actually just nicely put the tree on here. Now, this is a whole bunch of jumbled mess. Also, you can change the amount of vertices you have to make it smoother, or, well, a little bit less than. But I would honestly recommend you set it to like 2. That's a good amount of smoothness that's not going to set your computer on fire. But at this point, in order to make the leaves, we're just going to be basic here and add some cartoony leaves, because even professional animators will say this is just simplistic, but also makes it cute. Normally, if you wanted to add a bunch of leaves, you would have to make a leaf texture using and put it on the planes and just scatter it all around the tree. But that's a texturing thing, and honestly, we're just trying to be basic here. But we can just add these spheres onto the shape to almost mimic leaves, which it works. And we're just going to copy that, go over here, and scale it again. And we're just going to move it around. Now, of course, if you wanted to, there's this scale button if you wanted to, say, shrink it in a certain way. And normally it's best to name these things. I'm not doing that right now. But we're just going to move it in here, just so it merges. And then we're also going to add some to this. We're just going to put it at the ends. And we're just going to keep doing this until we get it on all of the tips. Which this is our goal. To just add some leaves to the tips of the sticks that we made. Or branches, whichever way you want to call it. Alright, there we go. And there we go. And also we're going to add one last one right here. Oh, wait, forgot a side. So we'll just add another one. By the way, if you don't know what the keybind is for a tree or to copy things, it's just Control C, Control V. And this is our tree. Now, of course, if you want to color it, you can. Oh, also, before you finish this thing, make sure you hit this button and hit apply or Control A. So now, instead of it being that blocky shape, it is now permanently this thing. Can be reversed somewhat. There's just another modifier to that. Not going to go over it, but usually this is a permanent decision. So just be sure your object is ready to be subdivided before you do that. And this is our tree. We can also, if we want to, go down to this material and just add a base color. It's not going to do too much. And I think my thing's about to crash. Nope, never mind, we're fine. And we can also change the color, but if we were to go to here, you can now see the colors. And also, this saves the material. So if we wanted to select a certain material, we have it right here. For this one, we're just going to call it just green. And then, if we were to go into a material with each and every one of these, we can just add the green. Also, if you wanted to combine the shapes, all you have to do is just join them together. Like, take these two. In the wrong buttons, of course. And just hit join. And then they're one object. Anyway, now we're just going to keep doing the same thing. And if you wanted to make it more smooth, you can go into the sculpt mode and sort of just change that, but it's not required for, well, I guess this tutorial. You don't have to do that. In fact, you don't have to do any of this. But there we go, there's our tree. And now let's actually try a different method. Now, this method somebody showed me once, and it was pretty helpful. So we're going to take this plane, and also let's just move this to the side. Ignore the camera and the light. Those are not important, and we're just going to move this tree to the side. It's not important right now. And we're just going to take our plane, and a way to rotate this as well is if you go into here, you can actually go into each axis and just hit like 90 degrees, which is going to make our thing look like this. Anyway, at this point, just go onto the x-axis. And what we're going to do is we're going to sort of make this an almost base plate for our tree. So we're going to go into edit mode. But instead of us selecting faces, we're selecting lines. So we take these 3 lines and hit X. And you're going to want to delete the edges. I take that back. And that. If you want to take something back, just hit Control Z. Alright. Let's try that again. Alright. Now we should be left with this line. Now instead, we're actually going to select points for this one. So we're going to take this point and we're going to drag it out. This is essentially how we're going to almost extrude it. Because you can still extrude in the same way, but this is just going to, in general, move it around. It's not going to... Because extruding, if we just hit E, is going to do this. It's going to create another point. Or if we hit something like G, it's just going to move it around. And we can move this slant ways. And now at this point, we're just going to branch out. And don't worry, we're going to do this on multiple sides. But this kind of helps to create a more detailed tree. And right now we're almost making its skeleton. Because if we were to swap to this side, not only can we move this around, like so, we can also add more to these points. Take right here. We can also just copy what this did. And now we have our tree. Let's just add another point right here. Don't get me wrong, you can still go in here and add more, like right here, and what have you. But now we're just going to take this object, and we're going to go to modifier, and this time we're going to search up a modifier, I believe it's called skin. And there we go, we have a bit of a sort of general shape. Now if we go into smooth, it should smoothen itself out. Now this does work in creating armatures. Or in fact, another method, if this doesn't work, which actually I forgot what he did do, and I'm just going off of memory here, he instead went into subdivision and just added another subdivide. Which we can also apply this, Because if we were to go back into edit mode, we can actually see the points now. Which, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these points down here, and I'm just going to scale these ones, but if I press a very special button right here, I can actually scale out. If I use the scroll wheel, I can scale out some other things. Now, from the looks of it, it's better off to just scale using this one. Just scale out this way. And this way. Also, this is the X-ray bit. You just have just your X-ray, what the whole shape looks like, what the shape looks like with materials, and then what this shape would look like in a render. Now, of course, if we wanted to scale again, we could. Now, I'll admit, this tree looks kind of frail. Not the greatest build to it. So, let's just go back into X-ray again. Like that. And you can scroll down if this is not your goal. We can also rotate this. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about topology. I'm just going to accept this as the way it is. Just a little bit of a crooked tree. No big deal. And let's set it to 2. And then we're going to do something similar to what we did before. And we're just going to apply it. Which you can't be in edit mode and apply it. I don't know why, you just can't. And then we're going to do what we did before with the previous tree, which is add spheres. And yeah, it's just the same process. Just here. Just keep adding them. You can also, you don't even have to hit Control C more than once, unless you're really wanting to copy a shape. You can just hit Control V again. And it'll just copy that shape. Though it's just a habit I've made to just hit Control C, Control V. And there we go. Up here. This is actually, that method before I showed is actually the method we use to make trees within that Nefas project. I'm not putting a link in any sort of description. Not just because I don't know how. I mean, I'll probably figure it out. But For now, I'm good. Now, of course, our trees are going to look different, mostly because we use different methods. This one is meant to be a method for a more detailed tree. Now, we can also scale some of these. We might need to raise them a little bit. Or move them around. And then we can go back into the colors. And since we already made the colors of before, we're just going to add them. Just green. I think we can actually, if we just do this, since they're all pretty much the same, we can just... Nope. I'm not sure if that used to be a feature, but I thought I remembered being able to just select multiple and being able to change the color. I don't remember if that actually was a feature, but just don't do that. You'll just only get one color. And there we go. There are our two trees. If we just select them all. There we go. And we can also add a bit of green down here. That was not the green. And we can also scale this out a little more. I'm just going to copy this one with the way it is now. Also, if you copy something that has a material applied, it'll keep the material. And there we go. There are our two trees. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. That was two methods on how to make a tree. Alright, thanks for watching.